Good evening, everybody. I'm going to give you a sample of 10 Lance Connect sleeve options or Trossfrau sleeve options for your garments for 12th night. This is a quick and dirty overview. You really need to make sure that you do your own research, but hopefully I can point you in the right direction. The first sleeve option we're going to cover is by the Circle of Urs Graf, which means it's not done by this artist, but it's done by people who liked this artist and wanted to do work similar to his. And this is from 1523. So you have a sleeve that appears to be in two parts, and you have cuts in the sleeve. This would have been wool, and this would have been wool, and this would have been linen. Now, I have to say, in the very late 1500s, you would have seen strings connecting these two pieces, upper and lower. You don't see it here. I don't know if it's missing because the artist decided to not put it in, or it's missing because the Germans were really good at fake puffs, which means they had a regular sleeve underneath this, and this, and they attached these pieces to the regular sleeve to make this appear poofy. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is this is a pretty option for you. This is option number 2, again by Urs Graf, 1525. So this doesn't have any sleeves poking through. It's a pretty solid piece of wool from top to bottom. You get this look by having a sleeve that's longer than what you would actually have on your arm, and then pushing it up and attaching it to an undersleeve so that these pieces would appear poofy. And this is a white linen shift underneath. This sleeve is undated. I couldn't find the date for this, but it's very similar to the previous piece. This is what I would call a stereotypical Lance Connect look. It's not dissimilar from the Krennic Saxon princess sleeves that you see. If you go to the Krennic Digital Archive and you look up some of the artwork there, you will see sleeves like this on very upper class ladies. This definitely has a regular sleeve underneath, and then you have a longer sleeve that you put on top, and then you slash it, and then you poof it up, and you attach it to the sleeve underneath so that you have these poofs. This is from 1525, again, Urs Graf. I included this because if you don't have a lot of time before 12th night, this might be an easy sleeve to make. It's just a sleeve made of stripes, probably from different fabrics sewn together to get this effect. Now these colors are totally made up by me. There's not a lot of colored German woodcuts, so I'm just going by the colors that were popular and available at the time. Yellow was very easy dye to make. Blue, not so easy as yellow, but it did appear in the artwork of the time. This is a cape called a gollar, Gollar, over top of the sleeve. And then this is the bodice. And this would indicate, maybe indicate some embroidery. I've included this dress because this is probably pretty common at the time. You have a big poofy sleeve and you have a short dress. This is very similar to a gown from 1527 that I made. It's very easy to make, very easy to find in the literature. I don't have a date on this, unfortunately. It's from my original research a few years ago, and I have lost the date. If you have no time to prepare for Twelfth Night, I would recommend this gown because it's not fitted. It doesn't have a fitted waist. The only shape that's coming to it is shape created by the apron tied around your waist. This garment is from a playing card. This is actually a number 1 of acorns. The acorn was up here. This again is a very simple gown. It's got fitted sleeves. It's got a fitted bodice. There's nothing really fancy about this except for some guards here and a fur cuff. I might make this for myself for 12th night. This piece of artwork is really interesting. I only came across this recently and decided to include it for this overview. It's hard to tell what's going on with this sleeve. The actual woodcut is a bit of a mess. So I've added color to show you what I think is going on for this sleeve. I think the undersleeve is here, this white portion. And then the oversleeve is 2 pieces. This would be wool, wool, and wool, tied together with some red ribbons at strategic points. And I believe that it was lined. This is the second half of the underside, the back piece. I'd love to see somebody try to make this for 12th night. This sleeve is by Nicholas Storr, 1538. It shows a wool sleeve, again slashed and ruched up upon a sleeve that's underneath. But this sleeve has no poofs underneath it. It's just letting the slashed wool lay down. It looks very sad, in my opinion. This is a cuff that's turned back. I left it blank to indicate that it would probably be a different color, but I don't know what that color would be. So I just left it white. This is a late period sleeve from 1560 to 1584, kind of late for the Landsknecht. Again, you have 2 disconnected sleeves, an upper and a lower. I have never seen this sleeve without connection points putting it together. So I'm going to guess that this is a regular sleeve underneath, and then on top, you're going to put this section, this poofy section, which clearly has some material underneath it to make it poofy. I would modernly put tulle underneath this to make it poofy. And then you have your cuff here. This last sleeve is a bit of an enigma. I came across this in the middle of the night last night. It is a sleeve that looks like it has tippets attached to it, which is a style from way, way, way back. It had a band of dark and a band of light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. And then you had these things hanging down. I really have never seen this before in this period. If I was going to construct this, I would probably construct a single sleeve of alternating bands of color. And then I would add this on top, this tippet thing here, which seems to hang down. On this sleeve, it looks like she's got it wrapped around her arm. I really couldn't figure out the coloring, how those bands would have fit in. But it looks as if she's got it wrapped around her arms, maybe so she can walk. I don't know. And this, of course, is just a blouse to fill in this area. So I am very tired. These are the 10 sleeve options that I've come up with for you. And I think this would point you in the right direction. Please make sure to do your own research to verify everything I've said before you show up at an event with one of these sleeve options. And I wish you a very good night, and we will talk again soon.